Happy Crittersmas, everybody!
You know, I really wish that was 86 minutes of farting critters.
But it was 30 seconds of farting critters.
That is 150 times not enough.
Yeah, so, hello everyone.
Hey!
Welcome to another episode of Film Seizure. I'm Jason Oliver.
I am pissed.
Yeah, this broke Jeff.
I'm Jeff Arbuckle. This was a bad movie.
This is week 3 of a very merry Crittersmas.
Fuck your Crittersmas. I'm declaring war on Crittersmas.
I think Krampus came. Krampus. Anyway, Krampus. This is like
Ugg came and decimated my hopes.
This is a bad movie, guys.
This is a bad one.
I love critters. I love them. I'd hug a critter and let it bite me and spiny me.
Yeah.
Maybe, probably not, but
sounds pretty excruciating, but that's okay.
I mean, I'm talking about I love critters so much that I have recurring critters dreams.
Really?
Yes. Like
that sounds a lot more interesting. Can we talk about that instead of Critters 3?
They started as nightmares as a kid when I first saw the first Critters movie, but they became like a recurring episodic dream.
We're going to talk about that more than we're going to talk about this movie. I promise you that. If I have anything to do with this episode, it's going to be talking about that.
And I'm actually really disappointed that I haven't had a Critters dream in a while because we've been talking about Critters a lot, and I haven't had one. I'm like, ugh, I need a Critters dream. And usually they're pretty scary. Like they actually are kind of got all the good elements of a nightmare, but at the same time I'm lucid enough to know that it's just a fucking Critters dream. And so I have fun with it. You know, and Emmett Walsh is there and like all the characters.
I wish Emmett Walsh was here right now.
But yeah, but we have to talk about Critters 3.
No, we don't.
We do. We can't talk about my episodic Critters dreams. We have to talk about Critters.
No, we're gonna talk about those episodic Critters dreams. We just have to talk about Critters 3 first.
We gotta talk about Critters 3. So
Critters take
3.
Apartment complex.
Yeah. So what is it? It's like the first they took over a farm. And then they took over
and then they terrorized the town.
And now they're going to terrorize a new dimension in horror. I don't know, some bullshit. This is a super fucking low budget movie. Like, there aren't very many locations.
No.
Most of this takes place in about a 4-story apartment complex. It is bad.
Yeah. It is. It's real bad. It's this is where you realize. So every now and then you see a movie where it's like, okay,
in a world.
Oh my god, this is not a world. This is a very small.
Every now and then you see a movie
where you have a premise, right? You have a thing, and sometimes it's sequelized. I almost feel like this movie wasn't originally a Critters movie. It was some other monster movie taking place in a and it's like, well, we got these puppets.
Well, none of it makes sense. I mean, the whole introduction of the critters into this movie doesn't make sense.
That's why I feel like it's
the only recurring character you have is Charlie, played by Don Opper, and he just bookends the movie, and he doesn't make sense.
No.
It feels almost like a bad Troll sequel.
Yeah, because didn't the first Troll happen in a building, like an apartment building?
It was in kind of like it was an apartment building.
Yeah. So, all right. So this movie starts with teenage girl, little brother, and their father driving across country.
Yeah, going back home.
Coming back home from the Grand Canyon, because they all got Grand Canyon hats.
Yeah.
Girl's not wearing hers because she's too cool for those hats.
Too cool for school.
Yep. And they have a flat tire. So they pull off into this rest area that is somewhere near
Grover's
Bend.
Grover's Bend. Yeah, somewhere near Grover's Bend.
So, I mean, they're like, you get the impression they're like halfway home. So they must live in like New York or, I don't know, like Pittsburgh. I don't know.
They live in some city somewhere.
Where there's where there is an Italian
somewhere east.
Yes. Because there's a man from New Jersey who has a very thick Joe Pesci accent.
It's a very thick fake Joe Pesci
I want to punch that motherfucker in the face.
Well, luckily he dies first.
Oh, I thought you were going to say luckily he's dead now in real life.
Oh, well, maybe. But
well, I'll dig him up and punch his skeleton face.
That guy's had, of all the people in this movie besides Leonardo DiCaprio, that guy has had the best career.
I don't know how. I really don't know how.
He's terrible. Like
he is.
He is worse than you called him John Leguizamo from Super Mario Brothers. He's worse than that.
Yeah, because John Leguizamo is just being John Leguizamo.
It's, Jeffrey Blake, and he's had a hell of a career.
The fact that I share a name with him.
But the thing that's most famous about this movie is that it's Leonardo DiCaprio's film debut. He was like 16 years old, 15 or 16 years old when he made this movie, and it was right before Gilbert Grape, and he was nominated for an Oscar for Gilbert Grape. So he comes off of this movie, not maybe 18 months to 2 years off of this movie, and he's nominated for an Oscar. Like that's fucking crazy.
Yeah,
that's fucking crazy.
It is.
Yeah,
it really is.
yeah.
Hey, your dreams, kids, can come true.
Yeah, just star in a fucking shitty direct-to-video Critters movie, and
just keep at it.
You could be nominated for an Oscar
in no more than 2 years.
Yeah, it's like fucking.
It's amazing.
It's like the fucking Atlas, Mr. Atlas. You know? You could be
from 99-pound weakling,
yeah,
to playing a Johnny Depp's mentally challenged brother and get an Oscar
nomination. You too can do this. Just
send a check for
$9.99 in a self-addressed stamped envelope
to Film Seizure, care of. Go fuck yourself, Leonardo DiCaprio.
Care of GTFO.
Yeah. Anyway, no. So so like they pull off. Leonardo and his stepdad pull up, and the stepdad gets out, and he's like, "Oh, it's a bummer to be you."
Who do we say his stepdad looked like?
Oh,
a cross between Fred Gwynn and Vincent Price.
Yeah. I said that it might be Jodie Price from the Simpsons episode where Marge had to call up to get a missing piece to Vincent Price's what was it? It was like a Mr. Potato Head like thing. Fuck. So out in the middle of nowhere, all of our characters meet, and Charlie's there to tell the kids about these amazing adventures he's been on, told in flashback compilation montage.
Yeah, he shows up out of the blue and out of a hole in the ground.
He comes out of a hole in the ground,
and he scares the shit out of about 6 kids, telling him the story of Critters 1 and 2, which is shown to the audience in a montage flashback.
Okay,
holy fucking shit!
If you're renting Critters 3. It ain't because of Leonardo DiCaprio. You've probably seen
Critters 1 and 2. Yeah.
It's just like, fuck, our movie's 48 minutes long. Fuck, what do we do?
We need filler.
Yep.
Yeah, it's bad. But that scene gives me the best moment in the whole fucking movie.
Oh yeah,
like it's the best. So, it's the best. I got.
I'll set you.
You set me up. All right.
I'll set you up. So he tells the story. And then it goes back to him, beat. Leonardo DiCaprio says, "You're fucking crazy, old man," or whatever.
Yeah, basically.
So I ain't believing that shit.
Yeah.
I think it's what he literally says. And so like the girl, the most capable character in the movie is a 16-year-old girl who has daddy issues, and because the dad sucks. And the mom's dead.
Yeah.
Because, of course.
Dad is like a deadbeat, depressed dad.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's like, oh, what, because the daughter's like, oh, we were on vacation. Wasn't that fun? And he's like, used to be more fun.
Oh, he was basically like, that was not what it was. Something like that. It's like,
Yeah,
you
fuck
know,
you
and
too,
I
Dad.
know that was not what it was.
Yeah. Father of the year. Anyway, so she's like, well, we better get back, you know.
Yeah, it's like, let's get the fuck away from the weirdo in the woods.
Yeah.
It's our hero though, Don Hopper.
Right, but whatever. Charlie. And so little brother comes up to him with a can of mug root beer, hands it to Charlie.
And he says, here, you can have the rest of my root beer, which is a totally bizarre thing in and of itself, right?
Well, little kids don't know any better.
And this is the little kid, by the way, who played Dominic in Kindergarten Cop.
Was that the boys have penises and girls?
No, that was a different kid. This was the main kid. This was the son of, I forget the actress's name.
Penelope Ann Miller?
Yes, Penelope Ann Miller. It's Penelope Ann
Whoa!
Miller's kid.
How did I
That
remember
was amazing. That was amazing.
That was my Rain Man
You
moment.
know what it was? You went to, you know what it was? You went to Johnny Depp, who was in Gilbert Grape with Leonardo DiCaprio, and then went to Benny and June, which Penelope Ann Miller was in with Johnny Depp, and then you pulled out fucking.
I always have
Was
Penelope
she in
Ann
that?
Miller in my back
In your
pocket.
butt? You always have her in her butt?
Yep.
Maybe she wasn't in Benny and June at all. I might have just made that up. Anyway, doesn't
She
matter.
was in that one movie where she played Nurse Betty. No.
Nurse Betty.
No, that was
That was
Renee
Renee
Zellweger.
Zellweger.
No, there was another movie where she was like a grifter dressed up like a nurse or something.
Maybe.
Back, I don't know.
Whatever.
Fuck, it's
Anyway,
Penelope Ann Miller.
Penelope Ann Miller. She was the mom, and Dominic was her son, and that is the same kid.
Okay.
So he says to Charlie, "Here, you can have the rest of my root beer," which is so fucking adorable and dumb, and hands him a can of mug
and, root beer.
And Don Hopper, in I think probably the greatest acting moment of his life, looks at this little kid with complete seriousness and sincerity and says, "Thank you, partner. It's my favorite."
And that gives you a moment of hope.
Maybe this movie knows what it is.
It does
right?
not.
But it does not.
No.
No, and we are going to dig into that a lot, because I think the moments where this movie is best is when it's trying to be what it should be, but it doesn't go far enough.
Okay. Yeah.
And
I can tell you my favorite parts.
And it also goes into... It also is not written strongly enough to where those moments don't feel like they connect with the rest of the movie. Like if we look at Critters 2, that movie has it strikes an immediate tone, and it's consistent throughout.
Yes.
And it is pitch perfect.
Yes, because this movie, so Critters
and Critters 1 for that matter, both of those
right.
strike in a very deliberate tone, and they deliver on that.
Yes, and they both think, well, Gremlins was a thing, so we'll just do a Gremlins.
Yeah.
This movie doesn't try to do Gremlins enough. It's basically batteries not included.
It is very much batteries not included.
Because so the family comes back home to whatever city they live in.
Yep.
I said New York, but whatever.
Whatever, it doesn't matter. It's some city.
And there's a poor Hispanic man who is being evicted. And, he's got his little fishbowl and all of his shit in the back of his shitty Datsun pickup truck. He's like moving his own mattress out.
Yeah.
The mattress has got holes in it and probably bed bugs. That's all he's got. He's got a mattress, some boxes in the back of his Datsun, and his fishbowl. And the dad, of course, has no brakes on his shitty ass truck either. So he just comes barreling down the road, and he's like, "Get out of the way! No brakes! No brakes!"
Which is so goofy. I got such a goofy scene.
It's just, I think all of this was meant to paint the picture that these are down on their luck people.
Right, but it doesn't feel real. And I know that we're talking about Critters fucking 3 here. I know that. I understand that and I appreciate that.
I wish this was video so you could have seen the face I just made.
But I'm talking about the fact that there's no understanding of what type of movie is being made.
There's no rules.
Yeah. It's just chaos.
Yes. It's kids playing in the forest. Crazy Man shows up. Crazy Man gets mug. Cut to down on their luck tenants in this building.
Yeah.
The fact that the critters are even there is purely by accident. Because there is a critter in the woods wherever they were before, and apparently stowed away 3 eggs, but there's like 6 critters in the long run, or 4 critters, whatever. So the eggs are like stowed away underneath
the camper Winnebago thing,
right? And when it hit the poor man's Datsun, the eggs fell, broke open, critters,
and the critters came out. I guess, yeah. Sure.
So basically, Leonardo DiCaprio. Okay.
Can we talk about something real quick?
Yeah. Well, fucking anything but Critters 3.
But I'm just saying, we're gonna make Critters 3. This is the fucking movie we write. Like,
this is you guys are tasked with making Critters 3.
I mean,
come up with whatever you want, but mind you, we have an apartment building and $20.
Yeah.
What you got?
But this is how we get there. It just doesn't. None of it. It's so ludicrous.
I'm telling you, this wasn't a Critters.
Even as a Critters movie, it's fucking ludicrous. You're probably right. It's probably a spec script that was reappropriated in some way.
Oh,
but god damn it, that's a shitty fucking spec script too.
I'm telling you, it was 45 minutes of something else. It was 45 minutes of a.
We got to make it a Critters movie. Bob Shea was.
Yeah.
Was like Critters.
You know who's not in this?
Lynn Shea.
Yeah. This is a New Line movie.
Even she was smart enough to stay the fuck away from this.
Yeah. So basically, the gist is that the reason why the poor old Hispanic man is being forced out because Leonardo DiCaprio's stepdad, who just so happened to meet the rest of our main cast out in the middle of the country.
Oh, I'm shaking my head right now.
Yeah.
On a road trip. Hundreds of miles away.
At least hundreds of miles away, probably thousands. They
all somehow converge again on the same fucking apartment complex.
Yes, and the plan is that the building is owned by Leo's stepdad.
Yeah,
and he is forcing people out because he wants to build a mall. He specifically says he wants to build a mall. I was actually paying attention to that moment.
I was not.
And he says, and Leo said, Mom said that you have to pay. The court said you have to pay for these people to move.
Oh, yeah.
And he said, not if they leave on their own.
Yeah.
So he's got this fuckhole asshole that is the maintenance guy who is releasing rats.
Yes.
He's not repairing stuff.
Yeah.
He's basically, they're trying to force the people to move.
Everything is broken in this place. The plumbing, the
elevator, the electricity. Yeah, and so he's basically trying to force these people to move so that he can just tear down the building and build them all.
Yeah, its battery's not included. I mean,
it is.
Yeah,
that's that movie is about poor down on their luck tenants of an apartment building that are being forced out of their homes, being basically saved by these little tiny aliens. That's a good fucking movie. We should have watched that movie.
That is a good movie.
That gets me in the feels.
Yeah. That's a great fucking movie.
It's a good movie.
Oh.
Remember when McDonald's gave that out for free with Happy Meals or whatever?
Yeah. I do remember that.
That and Mac and Me.
Yeah. Oh, God.
I would rather watch Mac and Me.
Pretty nice.
I would rather go to a McDonald's and start a dance off with a strange little person in a bear costume.
Yeah. That's a weird movie.
It is a weird movie, isn't it?
Yeah, it's a weird movie.
So anyway, so that's what we've got here. But then mixed in, we have the critters who show up sometimes.
Yeah.
When they're needed most, they don't show up. Whatever.
They do kill that landlord guy.
Oh my god, the maintenance guy.
The maintenance guy. And they do kill the stepdad. They kill all the right people.
Those are the only 2 people they kill.
Oh my god, you're right. They kill 2 people. So the body count's low.
This is not terrorizing. This is not on the level of terrorizing a town.
Oh my god!
Every sequel must step up
the ante. But the problem is the budget, right?
Yeah.
We don't have the budget.
Bob Shea is like, I'm saving my pennies for when we can.
Also, it really had no balls. It just didn't.
It didn't have any teeth.
Yeah, it didn't have any teeth. There you go. But don't boom.
Anyway,
it's a disaster, and it was it was written by the guy who
White Iced
co-wrote
Tea.
White Iced Tea. If you look it up his
Wikipedia page, it looks like White Iced Tea.
Is White Iced Tea. The guy who co-wrote The Crow.
That's amazing because that movie is great.
David J. Shaw.
The Crow is an amazing movie.
It is a good movie. Amazing, I don't know, but it is a good movie.
For 1994 comic book adaptation, it's an amazing movie.
It's a pretty good movie.
Yeah. Rest in peace, Brandon Lee.
You know what's interesting? I sometimes I show movies to Susan, or she watches movies with me that she hasn't seen from like the 90s, and I never really know how it's going to go, right? And we watched The Crow a few months back, actually maybe 6 months ago, and she'd never seen it before. And it's a little cheesy now. It's not.
It's a product of its time.
It doesn't totally hold up, but she really liked it.
Good.
Susan really liked it, and I was pleasantly surprised that she liked it as much as she did. And there's obviously a mystique around that movie that I think heightens.
Sure, it's like The Dark Knight.
Yeah,
I mean,
for sure. That it sort of heightens its presence.
Yeah,
I don't think you can not watch that movie and not feel like you're touched by a ghost in some way.
Yeah,
but it worked for her, which I thought was pretty cool.
It's got a bitchin' soundtrack too.
It sure does. Yeah. But anyway,
Big Empty. That's
same
a great
fucking
song.
screenwriter.
Yeah, I know.
Isn't
Isn't that amazing?
Yeah. Boom.
Boo. But mixed in, you also have this drama that's happening between the family. The dad is about to go to Chicago because he works for the railroad.
He's got a train job.
A train job. Yeah, he's a conductor. He's got a conductor's hat.
He does have a conductor's hat, yeah.
So, like the family feels like it's falling apart. And of course, the daughter is at an age now where she's kind of understanding that the family's falling apart.
That's probably the only really effective piece of this movie is that dynamic. That scene with the TV.
But it's lost, though. It's lost with all this other bullshit.
It's absolutely lost. But that scene works where her dad just wants the dinner table scene where
he's like, I don't want to worry about this problem right now. I just want to put on some dumb sitcom and fall asleep.
And she is kind of like, this is all that happens. You procrastinate. I worry.
Yeah.
Right.
And tomorrow you're leaving for Chicago.
Right. Exactly.
It's like, this is it.
Like that actually that scene, that dinner scene, and then the TV scene later where the TV goes out and she suggests that they play a game together.
Yeah, because the TV blows out,
and he's like, "Why don't you just give me your battery-powered TV instead?"
Yeah,
like that actually I thought was a pretty effective sequence.
Yeah, but you know what?
It doesn't totally pay off.
Right. You know what the really big problem is with that scene is that it happens in a Critters movie.
Yeah, absolutely.
It needed to happen in Batteries Not Included 2.
Right.
Not Critters 3.
But that's exactly right. Is this movie?
Because the thing is if you're going to have that aesthetic, now here's the thing. I'm going to put my writer's hat on, right?
You're absolutely right. I know where you're going.
Yeah. So if you take that scene, right? That scene needs to pay off with something, with the magical or the absurd thing, tying it back together, saying we need to work as a unit to solve this problem, right? In Batteries Not Included, it's these little aliens that provided kind of a hope or kind of a wonder to the people to help bridge that gap between the doldrums that they were at to solving their problem.
Yeah.
The critters come and just eat a pot of beans and a thing of joy and fart and blow bubbles and eat two guys.
Yeah, and eat two guys.
Where's the connective tissue here?
Right.
So, because the daughter ends up having to do a lot with Charlie, while the dad is injured, right? So the dad is not there
He's not,
with her.
He's not in the picture almost the whole movie.
Right. So
Charlie
she's doing,
becomes like a surrogate dad to her.
right, and he has no idea because he's in a fugue state
Right.
over getting spiny.
He's gotten spiny by a critter quill.
Like 4 times.
Right.
He and the fat lady
Yeah.
gets
Oh yeah, they're
quilled.
They're totally out of it the whole third act.
right. And so she's off doing these things to save and getting a little help from Leo, getting a little help from Charlie, getting a lot of help from Charlie.
Yeah.
Getting even a little bit of help from the brother.
Yeah.
The little kid
Yeah,
brother.
little kid.
And so like the dad doesn't know what she's doing. Like dad is in and out of consciousness. So it's like there's nothing to connect the end of the movie where like, okay, we're going to solve the family issue because I'm going to go shack up with the lady from the phone company.
Right.
I'm going to get a job with her and we're going to all live together and meet your new stepmom who also was sort of there, but then also became completely and totally feckless at the end.
She was kind of like the incompetent Vasquez from Aliens.
Right. She had a plan.
Yeah.
But then she fucked up.
She was totally worthless.
In the end, she's dangling upside down.
Hey, but she has a job at the phone company.
She can do anything.
She can do anything. Yeah.
The daughter, 16-year-old daughter, you got any jobs at the phone company? That's how desperate this situation is, that a 16-year-old is willing to say, fuck any dreams I have. I'll just work at a fucking phone company. Right. Answering phones and customer bitching, you know, like it's a real slice of life moment there.
Yeah, yeah, it absolutely is. And we started joking that she's like she's
she
6 months from the bone company.
Yeah, she's 6 months from because of her daddy issues.
Yeah,
and she's not unattractive.
Right,
she's 6 months away from getting a job at the fucking local strip club to make ends meet.
Yeah,
this is where we're at.
So
there's no place. There's places to go, but no connective tissues to take you to that place. Right. Let's get in the time machine, go back about 29 years, pitch a new movie for Critters 3, and then we'll also make The Crow.
Okay.
And we'll take that gun away from the prop man, and we'd still have Brandon Lee today.
Oh God, wouldn't that be just perfect?
I mean, it'd be pretty good. I don't know if it's perfect, but it'd be pretty good.
Be pretty good.
Yeah.
But there you go. You've hit the nail on the head with this diatribe, because this movie has got all of this familial drama.
Yeah, because also everybody who lives in the building is one big family unit.
Yeah, and they all have their own shit and all this depressing shit.
But they're all working together or seemingly all very friendly with one another to where they're entwined with one another.
So it's almost like here's the thing. Like, you could have taken this movie in one of two directions. You could have punched up the drama with the human characters and actually made them work, and actually maybe toned down some of the silliness and ramped up the horror, and it could have worked. Or you could have dropped a lot of just the silly. Not silly. I don't want to call it silly, but you could have dropped some of the melodrama of the characters and ramped up the silliness.
Yes.
Right? So, but what they did was this weird combination of the two that didn't mesh.
Right, because ultimately, so this is an 84 or 5 minute movie. It says 86 minutes on the back of the box, but the DVD itself is like, we'll economize this a little bit. It's only 84 minutes. Don't worry, you don't have to stick around for those 2 extra minutes.
Yeah.
They do make you stick
They do.
through the entire... We're going to talk about that shit.
Before we talk about that...
Well, real quick, what I was going to say is it's like they just needed that 2 minutes to try to find what the thing is that ties everything together. It does not take much to tie those pieces together, because the pieces are there. You just have to lace it together.
Yeah.
It's real easy, guys.
So,
you know, and I'm telling you this because I am a 5-time Academy Award winning screenwriter.
Yes, I know this. Under assumed names.
Yes.
Yes.
The last 5?
All of them.
All me.
All you.
All me. I was even the guy who wrote Moonlight. Pretty amazing, huh? Yeah.
Are you Jordan Peele too?
Yes.
I knew it.
Yes.
So Critters 2 is, I think we agree, the crown jewel of the Critters franchise.
Yeah. Well, I'm going to assume that we haven't gotten to 4 yet.
But it's a safe assumption.
Sure.
Critters 2 features a scene where the sheriff dresses as the Easter Bunny, gets attacked by critters. Yes. They bite his crotch. This is the
new sheriff, the sheriff who beat Emmett Wall.
They jump into his suit, bite his crotch, and he jumps through the stained glass window above the altar in the church during the middle of Easter Sunday Mass. Like, that is probably the epitome of lowbrow cinema. But,
yes.
But it is fucking hilarious.
Because it fits the tone established by the movie.
Critters 3 tries to approach themes that are way far above anything in Critters 2, but none of it works because it's a movie that doesn't understand its identity.
Yeah.
And that is so goddamn important if you're going to make any movie worth a shit.
Yes.
Like, you can make a really lowbrow movie, like fucking Hamburger the movie, right?
Hamburger.
That is a movie that is about the dregs as far as artistic merit goes, right?
Right. There's the guy who gets crowded in a stall because of laxatives being mixed into the shakes.
And an Asian person takes a flash camera picture and it explodes the whole fucking
back
restaurant.
of the restaurant. Yeah.
Because
everybody's farting.
Fart. Yeah. But that movie works. It's funny. It knows what it is. Critters 3 has no clue what it is.
Hamburger the Motion Picture, also an Academy Award winning script written by some guy.
Referee Rarbuckle.
No, well, I mean, Film Seizure Academy Award nomination.
And I don't even think you could blame Critters 3 on a budget. It's just a bad script.
Well, here's the thing. I will accept that it all takes place in this building. Sure. Again, batteries not included. Takes place all in one building.
Yeah.
But the connective tissue that weaves it together is there. I mean, this isn't there. And there are unlikable characters.
Yeah.
Or there are at least, there's one really unlikable character, but there are other characters that you don't feel any sympathy or any excitement. Like, okay, yeah, the girl hooks up with Leo at the end, but fuck if I care.
Right.
He wasn't all that.
He's not,
I mean, granted, he was much more conscientious than his stepdad was.
But he's not an interesting character at all.
No, he's just
kind of there.
Yeah, he's a guy. Yeah, he's just guy. He doesn't even help them save. He gets spinied.
Yep.
Porcupined.
I mean, Annie and Charlie are the most interesting characters in this movie. And Charlie...
Wait, her name wasn't Annie.
I thought it was Annie.
Annie's her real name. Annie Brooks is her real name. It's but her character, main girl and Charlie, and to a certain extent, little boy.
Yeah.
Though they are all well-established characters.
Amy Brooks is Annie.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, she's
okay. You're right. Yeah. But like even the old couple, the old guy who knew about the critters, he must read the Inquirer or something. He calls up, beep, 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 boop, beep, boop, beep.
That's so dumb.
Hello, bumfuck Kansas. We got a critter problem.
Oh.
And then Charlie shows up hours later.
Oh.
So where are we at? I mean...
And while we were in the woods in the first scene where Charlie meets the little kids, Charlie is so inexplicable. He hands this crystal to the little boy.
He hands two things to the kids.
And he says, when this glows green, you're in danger. So then later in the movie, it's going green because they're near the critters. But why?
It looks like the crystal that Superman had that taught him everything he needed to know about being a Kryptonian Superman.
They put it in the Fortress of Solitude.
And Marlon Brando showed up, and he's like, I'm going to give you this 5-minute scene, and at the end of it,
Oh my
you're
God.
going to be fucking Superman,
you-
and it is going to be awesome, and Jeff's going to get tingles to this
Can
day
you-
40 years later.
Can you imagine if you had a crystal that when it glowed green and you put it into a slot that Marlon Brando appeared to you?
That would be fucking amazing. But you know what? My luck would be it would just be Marlon Brando like fatting out like
Oh, of course it would.
and he's just eating
Of course it would
Pringles
be.
or something.
He'd be having a stick of butter, or something, It'd be like
It's gonna be like Island of Dr. Moreau
Yeah.
Brando.
Oh my god. He would you wouldn't understand what he says, or he wouldn't say anything because he would be waiting for his line in his ear pierce. It would be fucking terrible. It'd be like this.
Right.
You'd be so excited for
It's
like 30 seconds.
Oh my god, it's Kal-El.
And then
Wait.
and then you realize how shitty it is. Yeah. Of course, you still show all of your friends.
Yeah,
and
watch
then
this.
And then they get excited for 30 seconds. They would be
Yeah.
like, "Oh my god, this is terrible." Yeah.
And then if
It's
what
basically
happened?
how I felt when I was 12 years old or 13 years old. And I was like, "Holy shit, Critters 3 is on VHS for rent," and I watched it.
I would take that green shitty Marlon Brando crystal, go out to like a snowy field and throw it. And when it lands and it goes into the ground and it like creates my fortress of salt, it would just be like a fucking KFC or something. It wouldn't even be a new KFC. It would be like one from like the 70s. It's like, oh.
That's good mashed potatoes, though.
So,
Hey, speaking of Marlon Brando,
oh boy.
the director of this movie, Critters 3, hey, tie it all together.
It's
Her
Richard Donner.
Her name is Christine Peterson, and honestly, the internet is pretty light on her. But the Wikipedia page says, and you can take this for what it's worth, that she was a member of the staff at Omni Zoetrope Studios for the filming of Apocalypse Now. So she was somehow involved on staff in some way at Zoetrope during the making of that movie. So Marlon Brando, Green Crystal, that's where it all comes from.
They just stole that prop from
Yep.
Superman.
It's all connected.
It's all
Jeff.
connected. Well, you know what's not connected? The bits and bobs of this movie that
No.
needed that connection.
Yeah.
That needed that deep connection to make it all work. I want to talk about. I mentioned time travel.
Yeah.
And going back and we can fix this movie,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
I want to talk about the very end of this movie.
Yeah. Yep.
So movie ends, and Don Opper is going to go down and clean out the rest of the critters, and the credits begin. And it's like, oh fuck, it's gonna pause,
Yep.
show us a shit ton of credits, unpause, give us a
some
little bit
of the
more movie,
Yep.
pause, shit ton of credits.
Yep. That's what it does.
It does. So it sets up a fourth movie, but it does so by like, okay, so we're gonna have to watch him find the critter eggs. He's gonna exterminate.
There's
But
the
no,
last 2 critter eggs.
you're right. But
He's
then
gonna
he gets
exterminate them.
then he gets a warning, and he gets a
from who?
message
From who?
from Ugg,
Yeah, Terrence Mann.
and Ugg says, "You can't exterminate those. We're prohibited from killing the last of any species." Sure, okay,
Whatever.
What? And he's like, "But you taught me how dangerous they were." Like, yeah, I'm on his side.
Yeah.
These things are dangerous, and they'll kill a whole planet. Like 2 of these could probably kill a whole planet.
Yeah.
Kill them. Whatever.
All of them.
Kill all of them. So but then like Terrence Mann's like, no, we're sending the pod down, and you're going to put the eggs on the pod, and we're gonna go take it to some protected space, right?
We're going to take it to the endangered species.
We're gonna take it to space Yellowstone.
Yeah. It's a lot of bureaucracy in
Yes.
space.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
So so then like the thing crashes into the basement of the building, and Don Opper's like, oh, and it freeze frames, and zooming at the screen it says "to be continued."
Yep.
And at that point, I'm like done. I'm like,
Well, at least you made it through the whole movie before you were done.
but you know what the problem is here? It's like, okay, remember when Back to the Future 2 came out, right?
Yeah.
And at the end, It's like, oh my God, how's Marty going to get out of the 50s? And it's like, oh, the guy comes from Western Union or whatever, and it's a message from Doc that he's in 1855 or
It's
whatever.
from the dock!
It's from the Doc! And then it's like, oh my God, awesome. To be continued. We get...
Before even that...
We get the trailer.
He comes, no, fuck that. Marty gets the message, and he comes running around. He comes back to the Doc, who had just sent his Marty back to the future, and he's like, I'm back. And the Doc passes out. It's the greatest fucking ending in movie history.
Zooming to the screen, to be continued.
Did you
and
just
you're
hear
like,
me? It's the greatest ending in movie history. The ending of Back to the Future 2 is fucking perfect. I love it. It's genius. And yes, zooming to the screen to be continued.
I'm thinking of at least...
It's so good.
At least one other better ending.
It's the best to be continued.
Okay, fair enough. Fair enough.
Ever.
Fair enough. Yes. Okay,
It's
fair enough.
Fucking amazing.
Better than Best of Both Worlds? Star Trek Next Generation?
Yeah.
That's pretty good
It's
to be
better.
continued.
It's better.
No.
It's better.
Oh.
It's better.
Okay. Anyway.
It's so good. I mean, it's like, oh my God. Like, he just fucking sent Marty back.
Okay.
He just sent him back. And then right around the corner, he's like fucking right there. Are you shitting me? That's genius.
So here's the thing, though.
That's genius at work.
You're setting up my point.
Yeah.
That movie earned its to be
It
continued.
absolutely earned it.
This movie has earned shit.
Yes, that's true.
This movie, at the very least, okay, the one thing it did earn was the critter that ate the pot of beans farted.
Farted. That happened.
Twice.
Yeah.
Shitty fart, then funny fart, right?
The critter that ate the dish soap burped
Bubbles. And actually, there was a good payoff when Charlie was like,
and the
"Did you hear
bubbles
that?"
kinda floated up.
Yeah, and he's like looking, and then like the bubbles floated
Yeah.
up. That was great.
There were some moments
but
of comedy.
that moment worked.
Right.
But that has nothing to do with the ending.
Right.
The ending does not get set up or paid off. It
No,
does not
it's-
earn its
no.
to be continued.
No, it's like, oh, we made another Critters movie. Wink, wink. You want another one, right? Wink with the other eye. Wink. You know,
And it's like, no, I don't want
it's
another
like
one.
not if it's going to be like this.
No.
Yeah. Yeah.
This movie sucks.
It does. It sucks.
You say that the fourth one's better.
The fourth one's better.
Better be.
It's better. The fourth one, we'll talk about it, obviously, but it takes it to its natural place in space. It's got fucking Angela Bassett.
She's awesome.
It's got fucking Brad Dourif.
He is super awesome.
I mean, it's got great people. It actually has a good science fiction vibe to it.
Brad Dourif's an Academy Award nominee.
Indeed, he is. It's not a great movie.
For the greatest movie I think ever
It's not
made.
a great movie, but it's passable.
So on the scale of 1 to One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest,
What?
the One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest is
Brad
Dourif,
Dourif?
and that's what I think is the greatest movie ever made. On a scale of 1 to One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest, where's Critters 4 going to
Oh
end?
God, I don't know, like 3 or 4.
Fuck.
It's fine though.
Well, this movie's a 1.
But Brad Dourif, Brad Dourif has been he's usually the bright spot in everything he's in.
Sure.
He's the best, one of the best parts of Alien Resurrection.
Yeah, he's a mad scientist.
He's fucking Chucky, for Christ's sake. He's, I think, the greatest. I know everybody loves Swearingen, Al Swearingen in Deadwood, and he's awesome. But Brad Dourif's character as the Doc in Deadwood is unbelievable. Like, Brad Dourif is just, again, I'm going to say it, he's a fucking national treasure. Like, I mean, I don't even really like Exorcist 3. Like, everybody loves Exorcist 3.
Fuck, dude.
I'm not a huge fan of that movie.
I know you're not.
But he's great in it. Like, he's great in it. Brad Dourif is the shit.
Yeah.
So at
I
least,
got that to
so
look
at
forward
least
to.
there's Brad Dourif.
Yeah.
Yep.
You got anything else to say about this movie?
I got nothing. I'm good.
This movie sucks.
Yeah, it's not good. Green crystal stupidity. It was one of my notes.
Well, the other thing they gave him was that bullet thing that ended up exploding one of the...
Oh, I love this. This was a great line. So Leonardo DiCaprio and the young girl are having a moment after his dad has been eaten by a critter.
Oh,
and he's saying, and he's telling her that his dad is dead, and she says to him, "It is so good, man." She's trying to relate to Leo, and she says, "My mom died, not like your dad, but she died."
I think the moral of that story is: can anybody really relate to Leo?
No.
Yeah, I mean, he seems like he's
No, he's an
untouchable.
He's an angel from heaven, Jeff.
He had a funny nickname once upon a time too. Anyway,
Draw me like your French girls.
yeah, Kate Winslet needs to be in a Critters movie.
Hey, who knows?
Hey, relaunch Critters.
The Critters franchise has been long rumored to be getting a reboot, and supposedly it's happening now as a TV show on Sci-Fi. We'll see.
I wince whenever I hear sci-fi.
The guy who directed Thanksgiving actually did a kind of an audition film when they were there was going to be a there was long rumored like a web series that was going to happen. And like Paramount, I think it's Paramount or whoever owns the Critters franchise now. Somebody owns the rights to it. They have a web channel or something, a streaming channel, and they were going to revive Critters as a webisode kind of thing, like 5 to 10 minute episodes. And they were looking for a director, a showrunner, and I think his name is Justin Downey. He directed Thanksgiving, which is hilarious, but. He's a huge Critters fan. Like, he did a whole fucking YouTube series on his YouTube channel about his love and fandom of the Critters series.
That's awesome.
And he made a fan film that was his audition tape to be the showrunner for the Critters web series. And he didn't get picked. And it's flabbergasting that he didn't, because it is...
Well, they probably like, give us another one of those Critters 3s.
This 10 minute like short film is... far and away better than anything in Critters 3. And he didn't get the job, and then the whole web series fell apart anyway, and now Critters and Killer Clowns have both been sold as properties to Sci-Fi Channel to do at least the TV broadcast rights. So they're both Sci-Fi is developing TV series now for both of those properties. So we'll see what happens. But
well,
anyway,
I know what's going to happen here. Next week,
we're gonna watch
wrap
Critters 4.
We're gonna wrap this up.
We're
gonna
gonna
wrap up our Crittersmas.
We're gonna have our last episode of Crittersmas.
War on Crittersmas right now.
War on Crittersmas.
That's what I'm declaring.
It's a war on Crittersmas.
I'm sorry, but this is gonna have to be a happy Gremlins holiday.
Oh dang!
From now on.
Oh dang!
If you give me just a plain red cup, I'm going to do a vertical video.
You were warned about Critters 3. I warned you. You don't give me.
But now I'm offended.
You didn't know how bad it was going to be, but I warned you.
Well, we're almost done now. But anyway, I'm looking forward to seeing the wrap up.
Four isn't terrible. It's not terrible.
So we're going to do that next week. We're going to round out 2018, start looking above and beyond into 2019.
Yes.
As we are getting ever so close to our 50th episode.
Holy moly. That's hard to believe.
I know, right? And, that's going to be exciting. In the meantime, you can always check us out on Facebook, Twitter, at Film Seizure.
Yes.
You can find us at Film Seizure, www.filmseizure.com.
That's our home base.
Home base.
You got us on the SoundCloud and on YouTube.
Yep.
Just look for our channel, Film Seizure. It's
Yes.
easy to find, I promise.
New episodes of Film Seizure on filmseizure.com and SoundCloud on Wednesdays. I put the videos on YouTube on Sundays.
Yes, indeed.
So if you miss out on Wednesday, or you don't
like
get around to it until
you don't like the SoundCloud. Maybe you only go to YouTube. Maybe that's like the only
maybe that's
website
the only place
you
you
live
go
at.
to.
Or maybe you have like a like a Chromecast or some shit,
Yeah.
and you like to put that shit on your TV and listen to
Yeah,
it,
you can
that's
do that.
cool. You
Yep, you can do it.
Get us on YouTube on Sundays.
Yeah. And then, so I already mentioned Facebook and Twitter.
You sure did.
I did.
Yeah.
I'm over at bmovieenema.com. I'm not too far away from my 150th.
That's wow.
I am nothing if not prolific. Yeah. Next week we're gonna wrap up this Crittersmas business.
Yeah.
And then, but in the real world, in a few days, it's Christmas.
Yep.
So we want to wish everybody a Merry Christmas, Happy Holidays. Whatever you celebrate,
All that good stuff.
All of it.
Yeah.
Merry Holidays.
Mary, what was it on SNL? Christmahana Kwanzaa.
Good
Sure.
enough.
Yeah.
Sure.
Yeah.
Whatever you celebrate, we hope you are
wish
doing
you the happiest and best.
Yes, and we hope that you are with family and having a good time there. So,
or maybe we're your family.
Or maybe we are your family.
That would be cool.
Yeah,
I would like that if we are.
Yeah, extended family.
Sure.
We are the loser cousins.
Yeah, we would be.
We would be.
We'd be at the
We
kids'
really would be.
table.
We'd be
yeah.
farting and
throwing mashed potatoes at each other. Yeah.
from my magical Kryptonian KFC.
Yeah.
Krypton fried chicken.
That would be us for sure.
Anyway.
But we'd love you and you'd love us anyway.
Yeah, we'd still be invited. I am Jeff Arbuckle.
I am Jason Oliver, and you have been listening to Film Seizure.
Kill more Christ. Kill Christ.